The finality of life.
I figured maybe if I just ignored it, it wouldn't be real. Maybe if I just detached a bit, I could let this storm pass me by. Every day a little more sand passes through the hourglass. My mentor has just a few more months to live.
Think about that. Maybe 60 days. Maybe more, maybe less. Game over. People come and go in life, seemingly in chapters.
This chapter with him has been the past 2 decades. And, as much as he would kick my ass for any mushy sentiments beyond the sentiments I shared with him this morning, I am going to encapsulate for you a short list of the things he taught me that will continue to stay with me when he is gone. 1. Sometimes it's not about profit.
There's a handful of people in your life worth protecting. Protect them. 3. Work hard. Expect more. 4. Count the pennies, as the pennies add up into real money. 5.
Live generously. 6. Build. 7. Cut costs. 8. Cut costs again. 9. Family. 10.
Make shit happen. He watched him work for 2 years without taking a dime's profit personally, so he could put his deceased business partner's children through college. Literally work 60 hours per week to provide for someone else's kids. Life is short.
In a few months, he will be gone. I will have nobody left to call. I see so many people here working some dead-end, shit job that they hate. Spending life as the sand pours through the hourglass. I have personally wasted too many days. Life has an end date. He wishes today he had spent more time with his kids and grandkids. He's out of time. The sand has just about run out, and it is already slowed to a trickle for him.
And for me, with him. No more wasting time for me. I am going to measure every day. I am going to leave something that lasts. I am going to spend the rest of my days with people worth protecting, and building things that make a difference.
Measure your days. Make sure when the sand runs out for you, that you have done everything you could do. Here's to my friend and my mentor. Life is short.
Great post. We all have to face our fears. When I faced mine, I realized that my biggest fear was that when I died, the general response would be who. I went to the funeral of a local fireman who was well known in our community. Not only for his first responder career, but also for his value-driven life that including donating his time to coach kids and serve the community.
The visitation line was out the door and around the corner of the funeral home. In contrast, I attended the wake of my grandfather when I was 12 years old.
At the funeral home, they had a service in the next room for another man who had also passed away. During the 2-day wake event, I noticed that no one had come in to pay their respects or sign the register.
I didn't know who he was or what his life was about, but I remember thinking how sad it was that no one showed up. I remember signing the register and thinking how sad it would be if the same thing happened to me.
I'm not saying that the fast lane lifestyle will make you a popular dead guy. I just want to do something that helps a lot of people and to be remembered for something besides breathing air.
Thank you for posting this. At some point I would love to hear more about number 5.
Wow, bud, you are an inspiration to this forum. Fantastic post. Sorry about your mentor. Sent from my C6606 using Taper-Talk.
It's always very sad to know your friend will pass away soon. I lost my good friend a year ago. He was a great man and a real fastlander.
I still cannot delete his emails which he wrote to me. Vigilante, I know what you feel and I'm sorry for your friend. I'm really sorry, Vigilante. Sadly I too know what it's like to lose your mentor. Since then, I wake up every morning and evening, I meditate and thank my creator for the gift of another day to enjoy the splendor of nature, my kids' smiles, my health and the simple, innocent pleasures of everyday life that I no longer take for granted. I wish you peace at a very difficult time. I'm sorry about the potential loss of such a great mentor. This is a song by Oasis that makes me think deeply about words that can't express such sentiments. I wish you take refuge in these lyrics and let them be the kind of strong memories that resonate on. His time was well spent. Video equals YouTube, 7 climb 5 underscore WLR0? VE equals 7 climb 5 underscore WLR0 or video. Might be a good time to watch. And what a thoughtful post, Vigilante. Thank you for sharing your sentiments with the community. Your mentor might talk about not wanting anyone to have mushy feelings, But I'm sure that every kindness delivered leaves him feeling more and more fulfilled. Of course he will have his regrets.
We all will, and that is the unfortunate power of hindsight bias, but you have made it clear that it was his mission to be as much of a giver as his time allowed. The influence of his generous demeanor is evident in all of your posts, and if he knew the impact that you have on this community, I think it would blow his mind.
I hope that the time he has left is spent well, and when it expires, I hope that he passes proud of his accomplishments, proud of the people he touched, and proud of the life he lived.
Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose. You are already naked, there is no reason not to follow
Video
your heart.
equals YouTube, box_Nabak. V equals box_Nabak or video. Watch this, it will give you some perspective.
I'm very speechless except to say that you're absolutely right. Seek out your truth in life and your life will be very purposeful. Do you notice how things in life happens for a reason?
I highly believe that coincidences are no accident. God laid me off my job in NYC, led me here to this forum and led me to where I am now. And with each and every step of the way, I evolve and grow as a person.
With each step, I get closer to discovering my truth. I'm listening to life and I'm allowing life to guide me to wherever it wants me to go. And I'm not going to fight it.
Don't be blind to the truth but seek out the truth so that you know where to go. When I look in the past, all the dots seem to just connect. It's so weird, but I just know what to do and where to go next by excavating the
Life
truth
is
from
simply
it.
too short to not live out your truth. Find it, embrace it, and live it. Thanks for sharing, Vigilante. Your mentor will be missed.
I'm sorry to hear about your mentor Vigilante. Your post causes many, including myself, to reflect on ourselves and our mentors.
I'm sure you'll be fortunate enough to be in his position mentoring to someone that is currently where you were at some point.
Overall, when it comes to life ending, I like to remember that I'll miss the person not because they are gone but because of the time I had with them. It's awesome you were able to have him as a mentor for 20 years, that in my opinion, is a miracle and gift. My thoughts are with him and you.
Vig, thank you for sharing, and I'm sorry to read the words you wrote. It's nice you take what your mentor has taught you and pass it on. We all have the power to change someone's life for the better with just a few words. I've witnessed this.
We all need to be reminded of what will happen to each one of us. I agree 100% with your list. I would like to add a few things from my own experience. Be kind to people. Everyone has a story. I worked with a girl that got drunk at work 5 days a week, bar work. I looked down on her. I thought she was weak and a mess. Pathetic.
After asking what size shirts and pants I wore, she brought in 3 bags of clothing and asked if I would like them. If not, she would donate them.
She told me her husband passed away 1 year earlier. She was so in love, and now heartbroken. That was 3 years ago.
I still have the clothes. Don't just think it. Say it. Think. Reflect. Meditate. Live in the moment, as much as you can. It's all you really have.
Tragic events are big wake-up calls to the little time we really have here, some much shorter than others.
The other wake-up call is realizing all the petty crap we fall into, losing the big picture. It's happened to me a couple times already.
I have been measuring my days for a long time now. Near-death experiences will do that. In fact, I think I'm going to go play with my daughter. I have made enough money today. Thanks Vix. Now cracks a noble heart. Good night, sweet prince, and flights of angels sing thee to thy rest. Hamlet, Act 5. Sorry for your loss. I had a great friend pass about a year or so ago now. The guy I would call to bounce ideas off of. Still reach for the phone to call him on something that I knew he knew the answer to. Boy, I miss that guy. Oh man, I'm so sorry for your loss. Your friend and mentor sounded like such a rare and incredible person, and your initial post was a wonderful reminder to all of us to focus on what truly matters. I'll be keeping you and his family in my thoughts and prayers.
So sorry, Big. I heard and thought about when I went to play with my daughter today. Sorry, the world is a little less bright.
I'm so sorry to hear about your friend and trusted mentor. I hope you get the chance to spend some time with him before he passes.
Thank you so much for reminding us to remember what the most important things are in life, and that there is no time to waste.
So, I'm an artistic person and I know I'm a little, off-center at times, but I was thinking maybe we should start a thread, something like today was a good day because...
Or my life moment today, or something where we can post one thing that was good in our day, non-business. I know we were all here to learn or share and it's about business, but maybe we should have a thread that reminds us of what's truly important. We shouldn't be reminded how precious our life and time is only after a tragic event.
From time to time I sit down and think that while I continue to chase dollars, the people I love are growing older and older. It's truly heartbreaking to think about and makes me wonder what the perfect amount of time spent working
When
should
my loved
be.
ones pass away, the money in my bank account or the luxuries in my life will not replace them or heal the heartache. All we have are memories at that
I don't
point.
want to think about this anymore as it is really upsetting me. I guess my goal should be to go out and create more
I was
memories.
always a person that sacrifices for the future. I think it's a good trait and it helped me achieve many things. But I did it a bit too much, and lost lots of now in the name of perfect future.
And future never comes, it's always now, nor it's ever perfect, there's always more to achieve. So it's easy to get caught up and delay everything until the perfect day. But life isn't waiting. That girl you will propose when you earn your first million, gets married to someone else, and they get a
And
kid
she would
too.
have loved if you did it, but you were nowhere to be found. Your loved ones are getting older. Some go away forever. Some go away way too early. What remains? Only the moments you had together. My stepfather is going to a surgery in 2 days.
They told him it's too risky. I roamed the entire internet to find a second option. All sources say it's too risky. All but few expensive ones. Out of our reach.
So he managed to persuade some surgeon to do this, so we'll see. He's a good guy and a strong one. I believe in him. My mum is already crushed. They've been together for so long. Too many losses made me change outlook on life and
Don't
time.
wait until it's too late to miss your loved ones. Miss them now, while they're alive and well. Call
See
your
how
family.
they do. Throw a barbecue. Arrange some trip. See
Have
your
fun
friends.
now. Forgive now. Love now. Create memories now while you can. Life is not on standby while you
Which
succeed.
is why I agree with the above post very much. It's possible to have a little life even while you're grinding. Many people keep grinding all their life and they still manage to have a bit of love, laugh and fun in their life. So why can't we?
Damn well said. I pray for the best for your stepfather.
Sorry to hear about your friend Vigilante. But thank you a ton for that post you wrote.
Words to live by for sure. I keep an hourglass on my office desk as a reminder of how life slowly runs out. Many of you may have seen this before too, but it's another great article that will make you reflect on life. The top 5 regrets of the dying. Also, video equals YouTube, fight MB5F_CA. VE equals fight MB5F_CA. Or video memories will fade. Time races on. What will they say after you're gone? This is the life, dream. Vigilante, sorry for your loss. It is clear though how much you cherished and respected your mentor. Precious moments spent in his company are the jewels that you can keep from that friendship. My best wishes to you. Good night, sweet prince. Indeed. Yet another reminder. Steve, a former roommate of mine at college, is 48 years old, good-looking, physically fit, married with a 4-year-old girl and 7-year-old boy. Steve is deeply religious and just one hell of a nice guy. Most people consider him very successful working for a big investment firm. He has a gorgeous house on the lake and an impressive boat. I don't talk with him often, a couple times a year, but I know if I needed anything he would help, and vice versa. I found out Steve's wife, as I write this,
She
is
was
dying.
diagnosed with an incurable disease a few months ago. It affects only 15 in 1 million people. There is no cure or reason why people
She
get
cannot
this.
communicate. She gasps for each breath. He has asked for prayers, not for him, not for his wife, but for his children.
He worries how the death of their mother will affect them as they grow up. I don't know why, but man, this hit home hard. Eskel, I'm getting an hourglass.
Flying early tomorrow morning to Knoxville, Tennessee for the funeral. I picked up the phone the other day and dialed
His
his hash.
voicemail gave me a familiar greeting. I didn't leave a message, as he wouldn't have been able to return it.
I called my father's phone for 2 months after he passed away, just to hear his voice. I understand that.
Vig, my condolences to you and your mentor's family. You wrote a beautiful post about a man who moved you in more ways than you can probably
I plan to
comprehend.
quit my shit job, chauffeur, October 31st. One of the trigger events that set me on my exit journey was the death of one of my colleagues, from a massive heart attack, in the limousine holding lot, at Los Angeles International Airport.
His name was Steve. My last conversation with him was at the infamous Chateau Marmont, site of John Belushi's untimely demise, at a fashion event where we both had clients. It was freezing that night.
Colder than a witch's tit in a polar bear's mouth, as my dad would often say when I was growing up in Chicago. Steve asked how busy I was, as work was slow for him.
I had a lot of requests that week. Things were okay. He didn't know how his bills were going to be paid. The owner hires extra chauffeurs so as to push all the drivers down to part-time.
I don't get sick days, paid time off or holiday pay. I can't afford the company health plan, so I have no coverage. Our Christmas bonus was 8 hours of pay. I make $8 per hour plus gratuity, even though I am required to make myself available to drive 12-hour shifts.
Not complaining, just stating some facts. Steve mentioned going to work for a rival company, where the chauffeurs were paid $11 per hour. I told him that sounded like a plan.
As my passenger walked toward the car, Steve wouldn't let me get out of the car. He helped my client into the back seat and waved goodbye. He was dead a week and a half later.
I'm glad I told him it was good to see him. I meant it, too. He was a good dude. His family came by the job to collect his
They
things.
had not spoken to him in years. I remembered looking at his father and 2 siblings and wondering what happened to cause such a breakdown in communication.
He is Vision. All the other fast laners who posted are right. Life is too short to deal with balderdash and asswipes. I am quitting my shit job October 31st.
Note, drunken post, but maybe that makes it honest even more. But I'm always sincere with you guys anyway. I love you. Hey man, my prayers are with her.
It's a very ungrateful subject, but if doctors gave up and say it incurable, why should she accept it? FCK incurable and impossible.
My stepdad survived, and thanks for your prayers. He had carotid artery blockage of 100% plus very old. So they told him the risk of surgery is bigger than just living and waiting for
But
stroke.
he's not the type of guy to wait for that shit. I want to help, but don't know how. A smart woman once told me never recommend a doctor. Of course, I didn't listen, and recommended a clinic to my friend where I was treated well. And he was treated well, and a few months later the clinic was closed and was all over newspapers as clinic of death. Treat that as a disclaimer. This is a book that I haven't tried, but it maybe gives hope. Maybe they will find the cure. Maybe love will work out as a cure. I hope it will. They have my sincere wishes from the heart. We all seem to believe we have unlimited time on this earth, but maybe it's because we know how long we're supposed to live. We have an age, we have clocks and calendars to tell us whether we're far or nearing our final days. Sometimes it all seems so fragile, but I don't know. I guess it's just the mystery of life. Fantastic fast. So glad for you, man. Great to hear good news. My friend, being deeply religious, has a bit of, as he put it, paraphrasing, I turned to my religion and neglected science. He did not seek other doctors or alternatives. He didn't research for cures.
It's a big world, and I agree with you in not giving up, and don't take one person's opinion that you only have so many options or that you should or shouldn't do something. I have hope for his wife and family, and I know he appreciates everyone's prayers. Thank you.
Awesome. It's fantastic that your stepdad survived.
Good fella. I've got to expand on your theory a bit. It is interesting. Several years ago I worked out at a gym out of town. I used a piece of equipment I've never used before.
I loaded it up. Heavy, but not enough. Loaded more weights, getting there, and then more, just right. I banged out some reps.
I noticed a group of 4 big guys eyeing me as I trained. When I was done I said something to them, and they said something like, "Damn man, you're strong as a bull." I never saw anyone push that much on that machine. I said, "Thanks. Never used it before." Later I thought, what would have happened if I had known what I was pushing was supposed to be really heavy?
Since I didn't know the machine, I didn't know how much weight I was supposed to do. I didn't know how much was a lot. You can apply this thought to many things in life.
I am headed in the same direction. I am losing my older sister. She is only 2 years older than I am. I found out today that she may die by the end of the week.
Or she may live up to 6 months. She has 2 kids, one who doesn't even know she exists. Father's wishes, doesn't want him to go through the pain of losing his mother that young, unfair but not my choice. And the other, she thinks that he thinks she hates him. Cancer is rough on everyone. Sorry for your loss, Vig.
I haven't had a real mentor yet, so I can't completely say I know what you're going through. May he rest in peace.
Mike, that is devastating news about your sister. I hate
Life
cancer.
is funny. Today around 11 a.m. I will see my final goodbyes to my friend. At around the same time, halfway across the country, my best friend will become a grandfather for the first time
The
today.
circle of life. Full spectrum. Rejoicing on one side at a new beginning and a brand new life. Mourning and celebrating the life on the other side of a life lived well.
Simply great and motivational post. Thanks for
It
posting.
is always now.
This is a great thread to remind us of our most precious asset, of the end we all will meet, and how to truly live. My mother passed away 2 days ago. I was very, very close to her and we had a wonderful relationship. My father died when I was 9 and she raised me alone. She never remarried. She was the least selfish person I knew. She was strong, kind, and had a great sense of
Laughter
humor.
was always in our home. All my friends in high school would tell me my mom's so cool.
She lived a simple life. Family, that was always her focus. She had lots of friends. Sadly she outlived them all, and all her siblings.
She paid cash for everything and was very frugal. She always had what she needed. She never had a desire to travel.
A simple life is what she preferred. She was 89. She suffered from Alzheimer's for about 5 years. She was not to the point of not remembering us family, but when I would visit in the morning, she would forget I was there by the afternoon. As time went on, more and more of my mom's personality was lost. While in the nursing home, which was wonderful. She was happy, she was working on her word puzzle book in her wheelchair, had a stroke in her brain, and fell to the floor. 3 days later she died. I visited her the day before she died and she was on morphine and some other drug. The dry erase board on the wall with all kinds of information neatly organized for the staff and family to see had today's goal. Under that, the word comfortable was written. This was not a recovery situation. It was incredibly hard to see her this way. Mostly unconscious but at times still slightly aware of things going on around her. She would respond but ever so slightly with a tilt of her head or a movement with her right arm. The stroke left her left side paralyzed and unable to open her eyes. I said my goodbye that day because I knew she would cross over soon. She never wanted anyone to ever fuss over her when she passed. She made this very clear to everyone over the years. Say what you have to say and get on with your life, she said. So Thanksgiving this year is joyous and difficult. I will enjoy the day with my wife's family. The day after Thanksgiving when I would normally visit my mom, I will attend her funeral. I'm a pretty tough guy, raised by a pretty tough mom.
As my mom would want, the day after she died I got right back to work, but with a very, very heavy heart. I never thought these things would happen to my mom. The reality is anything can happen to anyone at any time.
Believe this truth and live your life. Share your feelings. Spend time with loved ones. Love each other. Help people.
My deepest sympathies,
I'm
brother.
very sorry to hear of your loss, brother. I can't imagine how you must feel right now. Thank you for being so open and honest about your feelings.
And thank you for the reminder. In the pursuit of the money it's easy to lose touch with what really matters.
True that, brother. I think about mortality every day, especially given that I'm an older father. I was 39 when my first son was born.
I turned 45 in 2 weeks on the 10th. Every day I think about mortality. My condolences to you, brother.
Sorry to hear of your loss of a friend, Vigilante. I am in a similar position with my father and it's a strange process, but at the best it leaves time for appreciation. He sounds like a hell of a guy.
I need an hourglass now. I am getting an hourglass now.
Thank you and you're welcome. That was my purpose, to remind. Agreed. At Vigilante, thank you. Thank you, and this is good. Truly a great reminder.
My deepest condolences, man. From the way you described her it can be felt how great person she was. How big is her
and
legacy.
How much love was in her heart, in her house, and she passed it on to you. Because love can be felt in your words. Hard to not get emotional.